In the ancient Igbo village of Umuoba, nestled between lush green hills and shimmering rivers, there lived a girl named Onyii. Onyii was no ordinary girl. She was a vision of beauty and grace, with long shiny hair that flowed like a river, eyes that sparkled like the stars, and a smile that could light up even the darkest night. But what truly made Onyii special was her kind heart and her miraculous ability to bring luck and happiness to everyone she met. Onyii had no family, and no one knew where she came from. She appeared one sunny morning, as if she had been delivered by the gentle breeze itself. She made her home in a fairy cave at the edge of the village, a cozy and enchanting place filled with glowing flowers, soft moss, and the sweet sound of a nearby stream. Onyii was always happy and ready to help anyone who needed her. Onyii was known throughout Umuoba, not just for her miracles, but for her everyday act of kindness. She would spend her morning in the marketplace, helping mothers carry heavy baskets, and her afternoon in the field, aiding farmers with their crops. Despite her youthful age, Onyii possessed wisdom beyond her years. Her gentle nature and readiness to help made her beloved by all. One day, an old woman named Ego came to the village square, tears streaming down her face. Ego had been barren for many years and longed for a child of her own. The villagers tried to comfort her, but nothing seemed to help. She felt hopeless and alone. Onyii saw Ego and walked up to her with a gentle smile. "Don't cry, Ego," Onyii said softly. "I will help you." She placed her hands on Ego's belly and closed her eyes. A warm golden light surrounded them, and Ego felt a strange yet comforting sensation, like a soft, warm blanket enveloping her. Ego looked at Onyii with wide eyes. "Thank you, Onyii, thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling with hope. Months later, Ego's belly grew round, and soon she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The entire village rejoiced and sang praises to Onyii. Ego named her son Chima, which means God knows. The villagers marveled at the miracle and praised Onyii for her kindness. One sunny afternoon, a little girl named Adaeze approached Onyii, her eyes widened with curiosity. "Onyii, is it true that you can talk to animals?" Adaeze asked, clutching her small basket of yam. Onyii smiled and knelt to Adaeze's level. "Yes, Adaeze. Would you like to meet my friends?" She led Adaeze to the edge of the forest, where birds chirped merrily and squirrels chattered playfully. As they walked, Onyii whistled a soft tune. Birds flew down and perched on her shoulder, while a deer approached her without fear. Adaeze watched in amazement as Onyii seemed to communicate with the animals, understanding their needs and fears. "How do you do it, Onyii?" Adaeze asked, her eyes sparkling with wonder. Onyii laughed softly. "It's all about love and respect, Adaeze. When you show kindness to all living things, they respond with trust." One day, a blind man named Obinna came to Umuoba. He had traveled far and wide, hoping to find someone who could restore his sight. When Onyii heard about Obinna, he went to him and held his hands. "Obinna, do you believe in miracles?" Onyii asked. "Yes, I do." Onyii gently touched Obinna's eyes, and once again, the warm, golden light appeared. When Onyii removed her hands, Obinna blinked and gasped. "I can see! I can see!" he shouted with joy. The villagers couldn't believe their eyes and praised Onyii even more. Obinna's eyes filled with tears as he looked around at the vibrant colors and the faces of his loved ones. "Thank you, Onyii. You have given me the gift of sight. I will never forget this," he said, his voice choked with emotion. Years went by, and the village of Umuoba experienced a terrible drought. For 5 long years, not a single drop of rain fell from the sky. The crops withered, the rivers dried up, and the people grew desperate. One day, the villagers gathered in the square, their faces filled with worry. Onyii stepped forward and said, "I will bring the rain." She walked to the center of the village and raised her arm to the sky. The villagers watched in awe as dark cloud gathered overhead. Thunder rumbled, and soon heavy rain poured down. The villagers danced and laughed in the rain, thanking Onyii for saving them once again. The villagers gathered around Onyii, their faces beaming with gratitude. "Thank you, Onyii. You have saved us," they cried. Onyii's kindness and miracle made her the source of happiness in Umuoba. Everyone loved her, and her name was in everyone's lips. However, not everyone was happy about Onyii's fame. A group of boys became jealous and angry because they felt overshadowed by her. One dark night, the boys decided to do something terrible. They invaded Onyii's fairy cave and did unspeakable things to her. Onyii's cry echoed through the night, but no one came to help. The next morning, Onyii's lifeless body was found in the cave. The village was struck with grief and disbelief. Who could have done this? Who could have done such a thing? The villagers asked one another. They fell into despair. With Onyii gone, a dark cloud seemed to settle over Umuoba. The rain stopped, crops failed, and sickness spread. The once joyful village was now filled with sorrow and pain. From that day on, nothing was the same in Umuoba. Death, hunger, and calamities plagued the village. The people were miserable and wondered what they had done to deserve such suffering. The village elders decided to consult the chief priest, a wise and respected man named Ezan. They gathered in the sacred grove and pleaded for his guidance. "Ezan, please tell us why our village is suffering," the elders begged. Ezan closed his eyes and chanted ancient prayers. After a long silence, he opened his eyes and spoke. Onyii was a god in human form. She was sent to help our village, and you repaid her kindness with cruelty. The boys who harmed her must be severely punished, and many sacrifices must be made to atone for their sins. The villagers were shocked and ashamed. They realized that they had brought this misery upon themselves. The boys were brought before the village and were severely punished with death. The villagers made the sacrifices and prayed for forgiveness. Days turned into weeks, and slowly the village began to heal. The rains returned, the crops flourished, and the sickness faded away. The villagers never forgot Onyii and the sacrifices she made for them. They built a shrine in her honor and told her story to their children and grandchildren. Onyii's spirit continued to watch over Umuoba, and her legacy lived on in the heart of the villagers. They learned the importance of kindness, gratitude, and the value of every life. And whenever they saw a beautiful rainbow or heard the gentle rustling of leaves, they knew that Onyii was still with them, spreading her magic and love. That is the end. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.